Acorn TV, proud sponsor of Just Seen It, offers hundreds of hours of British mysteries, dramas, and comedies streaming commercial-free on demand. Learn about our 30-day trial at acorn.tv/PTV. Woody believes he's won $1 million marketing prize.
We are now authorized to pay $1 million to Woodrow T. Grant of Billings, Montana.
So he takes a road trip with his son to pick up his winnings.
You didn't win anything. It's a complete scam. So you gotta stop this, okay?
I'm running out of time.
But the trip offers them much more than they planned in Nebraska.
Hello, I'm Liz.
I'm Zorianna.
And I'm Sean. We're going to take another road trip with Alexander Payne and discuss his new film, Nebraska. We've all just seen it. Liz, tell me about it.
I loved it. Actually, I think it's one of the best movies of the year right now.
What?
I do. Oh, gosh.
That was premature. Go ahead, Liz.
I do. Well, Alexander Payne, I like everything that he does. I've liked every single movie he's directed. And then we have a black and white, slow-paced, dry humor film with comedians and roles that are atypical to them. I mean, it's
a
up my
typical
alley.
Alexander Payne movie with
Yes.
atypical
Which I
roles and
loved.
all that sort of stuff. To me, the script I thought was the weakest out of all of Alexander Payne's films, and I don't know if it's because there's no Jim Taylor to collaborate with. I mean,
Well, he didn't write it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Alexander didn't write it, but Jim Taylor was nowhere to be seen on here. And this is a filmmaker I loved so much with some of his earlier work, and I feel like, to me personally, it's getting a little less interesting along the way.
The words simple, nice, and quaint seem to be criticisms for films these days, but I think it really describes this movie, and it really worked for me. It's not a movie of grandiose plots. It's about these characters, and it's about their experience, and I was along for the ride the entire way, and I just loved seeing where it went, and I just thought it was well handled.
The problem that I had was that I felt that Bruce Dern, as wonderful as he was as this character, was also very one note. This is someone who does not change, despite the fact that there's a lot of change that happens by the end of this movie.
I agree. The characters don't change, but the audience reaction to the characters does.
Yes, that's actually well put, and I didn't think of it that way. After you go through an experience like what these characters go through, I know that Will Forte's character changes a lot, but for Woody not to, he is not just an out-of-touch, out there alcoholic. He has moments of
Major regret.
of lucidity and knowing exactly what's going on, even if he sometimes may not show that he knows what's going on.
See, I think that would have done a disservice to this movie. I feel like every other Hollywood movie, there'd be some big reveal at the end or some big speech that Woody would have made to his son about, the times that I could have had or all of this stuff. The movie works more subtly than that. The movie's not about we're going to explain these moments from father to son, and there's going to be some passage of time and some great learning experience that happens. I think that this script is better than the movies that do things like that, which I see far too often.
I feel like we need to mention Will Forte here. For him, this was a role of a lifetime because he's the Saturday Night Live guy. He's the MacGruber guy. And here he gets to be someone more ordinary, more regular Joe. But I thought he tried too hard to underplay. I thought he was really trying to be the understated character. And I also felt like so many other people could have played that role. Not saying that he shouldn't have, but it's not like, this is the guy.
I understand what you're saying. It didn't necessarily have to be Will Forte. I think he had a nice, earnest quality about him, and as an idealistic character, I think his looks matched well with his character. I thought Bruce Dern was amazing. I thought his physicality was what won me over. I mean, just watching him walk from one room to another in his parents' old house, and just the way he teeters a little bit, and he won me over. I thought he was fantastic.
You didn't even have a suitcase.
I'm not staying there.
Dad, I can't let you go.
It's none of your business.
Yes, it is. I'm your son.
Well, then why don't you take me?
You can't just drop everything and drive to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, what else you got going on?
When Alexander Payne's making a movie and he's going to do it in black and white, I was thinking, oh, no, not that. It feels like the artist trying to be the
Pretentious?
artist. He's trying to be pretentious.
Yes.
I didn't get any sense of pretentiousness through this entire movie shooting in black and white, and I was shocked by that idea. I really thought that I was going to get that out of this film, and there's not a moment in it that felt that way to me.
When I look at Alexander Payne's filmography, and from my all-time favorite of his, which is Election, I think at this point I'm seeing that all his characters are unhappy and miserable in some capacity. I think that's what it is. Everyone in this movie was just so miserable.
I know what you're saying about how they're miserable and how all his films are about miserable characters, but there's definite heart in this film. I mean, when you learn the arc of Bruce Dern's character and you learn about his major regrets in life and how he's compensated for these decisions that he's made, there's a tragedy there. And I think Alexander Payne does a really good job of downplaying those major regrets and letting the audience find them for themselves.
There's no place like Nebraska, so you should go see it.
Nebraska is another success for Alexander Payne with his signature pacing and his very dark sense of humor. I say see it.
I'll concede that this film is a work of art, but art is subjective, and it's not for me. But fans of Alexander Payne, I think, will really enjoy it. So I say stream it.
Our vote's set up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for Nebraska. Cheers.
Go Big Red.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Acorn TV, proud sponsor of Just Seen It, offers hundreds of hours of British mysteries, dramas, and comedies streaming commercial-free on demand. Learn about our 30-day trial at acorn.tv/PTV.